Okay, and we're back in round one. So, I feel that this deck is not amazing or super powerful. It is, however, okay at least. Okay, Cavern Hydra. I could either block it, or I could put it in the middle and throw something like Scythian Augmentation on it. If I block, I'll probably Matrix Warden to give a favorable trade. Like I said, I want to try messing around with Scythian Augmentation, so I think I'm going to go ahead and level it up this game so it becomes free and see how I feel about it. Puts our position fine on the board. It does make this Nexus Pilot less good unless our Hydra's killed, but we'll see. We may have a good play. We may need the Force Field or something, for example. If worse comes to worse, we could Nexus Pilot in another row. This is the problem with, obviously, playing the Hydra in the middle is it makes our Nexus Pilots less interesting for a while. Do not like Soothing Radiance, but sometimes you have to take some card out of the draft. I will definitely be playing the Gox no matter what. Okay, so I think this is actually a good opportunity for me to... Okay, I'll probably be willing to trade with the Gox and lose my Nexus Pilot to trade with the Marrow Fiend. That at least lets me get a good use out of the Nexus Pilot, so I think that's fine. The question is, do I let combat happen before I block the Hulk? Or do I let damage go through, then block the Hulk? The upside is they should trade either way unless my opponent wastes another card on it. The difference would be if I do combat first, I will get to draw a card off of Gox next turn. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll take 4 damage to draw a card. My opponent has just been playing Necreum cards so far. This is noteworthy. It means that my opponent is a little more likely to have something along the lines of a Shaper in his deck or an Avatar. So, not that there's anything I can necessarily do about that at this point, but it's worth noting. Okay. Lurker is the only thing here that trades with Scorpion if we decide we want to do that. But that depends a lot on what our opponent is doing. Out of the ones I've gotten so far, I think that the background that is my favorite is the Utera one. Not entirely sure. I only have this one and Necreum, I believe, so far. I definitely like how this one looks. Okay, so this is a Life Shaper Savant. I really, just from what we've seen so far, I don't like the Life Shaper in this deck, just because, as far as we know, there are no good, like, our opponents mostly played Necreum cards, which means that the changes to Life Shaper Savant make it much worse. Yeah, that is still true. Okay, so... that alpha is not good for us, but at least it gets out of the way. We could meta mine to try to draw another card, but I'm not super optimistic about that. Okay, so Swamp Moss Lurker will trade here. Sparkblade Assassin will trade here. It's important to level up our Sparkblade just because the level 2 is so much better than the level 1. So I think that these trades are reasonable. Okay. Broomgrove Guardian comes just in time, so this will be an 8/8 if we play it after combat or in an empty lane. Technosmith will be good to level up if we're able to. We'll see. Okay, so I can play the Guardian in front of one of these two Summoning Sickness creatures, and it'll be an 8/8 ready to eat them. I have no options for trading with the Scorpion. So I'm going to go ahead and just block with a Technosmith. Bear Rider level 2 is much better than level 1, as we've mentioned. So I'll go ahead and go for that. I think Delver is a little more scary here than the Spring Dryad, so I'm going to go ahead and block here. Okay, Gox is good. Steel Shaper is not bad, although obviously we would have wanted to get it leveled up before. I'll be much more likely to play Grove Huntress just because it carries more value. We don't want to play the Shapers get a lot worse if they're behind the curve. Because, you know, once, like in player level 3, we don't necessarily want to be playing level 1 creatures if we can. We'd much rather have a level 3 at that point to play level 2 creatures. So I'll probably not play the Shaper, but we'll see. Okay, so my opponent's deck is getting value off the Shaper. Okay, that's actually pretty impressive and scary. So definitely want Gox somewhere. Gox for here or for the Savant. Okay, if I play Gox here, I can Grove Huntress to trade and buff Gox so that it will survive 2 hits from the Savant. So I am going to need to find an answer to the Dryad. That Swamp Moss Lurker provides one good option. I could Warwalk, but again, at this point it might be nicer just to play my higher level creatures. Munitions Drone is still reasonable because it provides good lasting buffs for all of my creatures. Not doing great on the board, but we're certainly not out of it. I do think that this is my weakest draft deck so far. But we'll see how it goes. Definitely, this deck has the most dinosaurs out of any deck I've drafted. Okay. Dryad is getting a little bit nuts, so I'm probably going to trade Swamp Moss Lurker for it. If I was able to. As I am not. Okay, Cavern Hydra gives a good answer to one of these. Again, those Forge Plates are something I would have loved to have earlier. Okay, gotta preserve my life total at this point, sadly. So I'm still gonna have to throw something in front of that. We're taking 21 damage. This game is really getting out of hand here. I think it will be asking a bit much to come back from it. We'll see. This is probably going to deal me 12 damage next turn, so I can take it most likely. There are plenty of things that could cause that to be impossible, but I can't worry about that right now. I think I'm going to try and keep the Runegrove Guardian alive just because it means I will probably get it to survive to the next rank and get the +8/+8 boost. Sparkblade actually doesn't level up well, So I'll throw out a Grove Matriarch so I at least get some value. This Soothing Radiance is actually not the worst here, although we will probably have to instead focus on doing things to stay alive. Maybe like a Metamind Adept or a Nexus Pilot, followed by a Matrix Warden just to try and shut that down. Yeah, I think we've lost this game. Yeah, we could definitely survive this turn. But we would die on the backswing. Alright, so we just lose. Thank you for watching Game 1. Hopefully we can pick up a bit better and get some packs out of this.